Well, I've always been told to learn from my mistakes, so I might as well tell the story about the time I got into trouble with Quinnipiac University. It was my freshman year, and I had been assigned to live in Commons. However, there was just one issue. I guess the big issue was me and my roommates in Commons didn't really jive. It's not that we hated each other or anything, it's just that we didn't really hang out, so we never became friends. Anyway, I had friends in Irma, but we'll get to them later. So I told my Commons roommates that I was moving out and moving into a half-open room in Irma with my friend Lorenzo. Now, my friend Lorenzo already had some troubles at the university. He had to be ambulanced out on his birthday because he drank grain alcohol. When the EMTs arrived, they found Drew holding a bag over his face to try to help him to puke into it, but it looked like he was suffocating Lorenzo. We had some explaining to do. Thus, Lorenzo was on thin ice with the RHD at the time. However, he didn't really give a fuck, so we decided to have a banger in our two-person room. We set up beer pong, we got alcohol and snuck it onto campus. We made all the arrangements before the party, and we also invited everyone on the floor above us and the floor below us, which in hindsight was not the move. I remember there being like 10 people on my bed. I didn't even know half of them, and they were spilling their drinks all over it. And right when I started to get worried about that, I heard a knock on the door, and they said, "All right." However, in his infinite wisdom, Drew decided to open the door for the RA, thinking they were probably some more people that wanted to party, or someone he could hit on. When he opened the door, everyone scattered like gazelles. My friend Trevor, to this day I will remember this, screamed, "This is not beer, it's Mountain Dew,
It's Mountain Dew.
it's Mountain Dew." This is the same person who fell asleep shirtless in the hallway with a toothbrush in his mouth after a night of toads. We're a class act. Despite having the entire building in our room that day, we did a decent job getting everybody out and hiding most of the alcohol before they got in. However, one douchebag left a rolling rock on top of my dresser. Of course, it was the rolling rock drinker. So the RAs that busted us told us we had to have a conduct meeting even though they only found one can of beer. I guess that still counts. I mean, as they were telling us this, I was kicking a full handle of Bacardi under my bed, so I guess we made out okay. However, I don't think Lorenzo knew what was going on because he had just shotgunned the Four Loko before they walked in. I mean, all in all, the conduct meeting wasn't that bad. For me, it was a slap on the wrist and the $100 fine, pretty standard. However, it was Lorenzo's second conduct meeting within the first 2 months of school, so I imagined his was a little different.
One more strike, and you're done at QU.
Is this about the ambulance? Because I could have walked to the hospital.
You couldn't even stand.
So we stopped having parties since our room was probably being monitored by that point on. However, we learned to adapt and survive, so we just ended up having parties in the other rooms in the hall.
Hey!
So I guess the moral of the story is, don't put Drew on door duty, because he f***ing sucks at it.
200 years.
300.
300.
Forever.
Woo!